Hello,
Hello,
good evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Joseph, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. The AC is on full blast in my house, so I'm freezing, but I'll be okay. I'll live.
Such a first world problem, eh?
Yes, that it is. That it is. I'm happy. That's my biggest concern right now.
I was
Yeah,
reading an article in the paper, they're saying heat should be as man or AC should be as mandatory as heat now.
yeah, I completely agree. The odd thing about Calgary is it's very, very rare to find AC in a home.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the newer builds or the new apartments, but for the most part, they just go no AC, just pray they stay cool, I guess.
Well, your parents in Arizona must have had a hot summer.
Oh, for sure. Fortunately, they sort of come back to Ontario for the summer months so they don't get the dead heat of Arizona.
Yeah.
But yeah, they'll head down as soon as snow starts to fall, they're out of Ontario again.
Can't blame them. Daphne, was there music playing? I didn't hear anything.
There was. Did you guys hear it?
Yeah, I heard it. It was
Yep.
sort of like it reminded me of a resort somewhere.
What did I
Oh
miss
yeah.
out on? What were you playing? Like spot
It
music
was
or what?
kind of like some, I want to say like soft house or
Yeah.
EDM music. Just a little bit hype, but nothing too crazy. Just trying to get everyone excited for the summit.
Oh man, I can't believe I missed out on it.
I know, that's too bad. You'll hear it tomorrow.
Yeah, something to look forward to.
Yes.
Wow. I can't believe we're already here. It's already been a year since our last summit.
Wow, I know.
Yeah, time flies. And I love all the graphics this year. Daphne and the marketing team did such an amazing job. They're super
Yeah.
appealing, super welcoming. So really, really vibrant. So it's nice to see.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy to hear that.
I can imagine me laying on Russ's couch right now in his office, just laid back when he's not there and just
Yeah, for sure. I've actually laid down there a couple times. mid-afternoon siesta.
For
Yeah,
sure.
after
After
those the Kentucky Fried Chicken
for sure.
lunches.
For sure. The
Waiting for
KFC
that
meals,
gravy. Yeah.
100%. That's so funny. Well,
Yeah, so a lot of different topics this year, a good range of legal ideas, financial components, family components. So it's a great lineup. I was going through the schedule and all the guest speakers we have and all the speakers from our office. It's you have a powerhouse team, Russ, this year. It's
Well, yeah, you can go anywhere from complicated issues like pre-tax corporate income to being a super communicator. Like the bookends are pretty wide on this one.
yeah,
no, 100%.
100%.
Well,
Mine's
top of the hour, are we going live, Daphne?
Yeah, we're live. So hi to everyone watching who registered on Zoom. Hi to everyone who's watching on YouTube. We are so happy to have you guys and so excited to give you a bit of a sneak peek about the summit. So join with
Pre-summit
me.
show. This is a first for us, right?
Yeah, it is a first.
Yeah.
So join with me today. We have Russell, and you probably already know him. He's the founder and senior partner of our firm, and he's the host of the podcast and virtual event series, Family Law Now, which was the origin, kind of the first thing that we created, and then the virtual summit was born under that. And this is our third year in a row having this.
Hey, senior partner, I feel like I should be I have a little walker that you guys kind of guide me around the office. It's pretty close, right?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. No.
Service dogs to make sure I make it through the day.
As long as you don't have the walker with the tennis ball, because then your dogs would just go at your walker.
Wipe me out, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I am here as well. I'm the marketing director, podcast producer, and we just recently started putting the show on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, hello, we're so excited to be going live on there quite often now. Last year I was mostly behind the scenes, so I'm super excited to be co-hosting this year with Shannon. So we'll be alternating on and off over the next couple days. And we're also joined by Steph and Joseph, two associate lawyers on our team, frequent OG hosts of After Hours. And that series is focused on providing information to families navigating family law. And we're live on YouTube every Tuesday at 5 to cover different topics related to family law. So honored to be here with the three of you. And Russ, I'll pass it over to you to get started with a bit of an overview on what to expect over the next couple of days.
Yeah, we've got an exciting couple of days coming up of legal content, like we were talking about in the water cooler there. We're supporting the Denise House this year. So what we do is we have two sponsors who are excellent. Supio, who does software for legal law firms, personal injury, civil litigation, family law firms throughout North America. And Bridgepoint Financial, which provides funding for people going through a separation and divorce. We're going to talk a bit more about them throughout the summit. So what we've done is we've taken their sponsorship, we've donated it to Denise House. They're building a new facility for the women that they help take care of. And we're challenging our colleagues and our audience to match that donation. So our goal is to get to 10,000. I checked this afternoon. I think we're about 5,300 and change already. So we're halfway there and we haven't even started. So super excited about raising money for that organization. Last year we raised over $7,500 for the Aboriginal Center. So this summit just keeps growing year after year. We're offering up to 12 CPD credits to legal professionals who sign up and watch the program. To get a CBD credit, usually you take a couple of days of courses. Oftentimes you're spending $250, $500 for the registration. We're offering this program for free and simply asking you to consider donating 1 hour of your time, whatever the value of your hourly rate is, to this cause, to the GoFundMe page. I understand Denise House will be issuing tax receipts. So it's a win-win. Everybody wins. We get to talk about content and the law that we love. Our sponsors get some exposure. We get to contribute back to the community, and cats randomly walking across the screen. And so please consider your donation. We'll drop a link in the, well, if you're here, you know about the program. We'll try to drop a registration link into the chat. So that's sort of where we're at. In terms of CPD hours, we've had lots of questions come in already about the hours. We have 6 hours of substantive content, 5 hours of professionalism content, and 1 hour of EDI professionalism. So my understanding that covers the full gambit of what lawyers in Ontario are required to achieve each year, so that you can get it all done in one stop. So that's sort of the overview, but let's get into our program and see what we're talking about. So we have the Denise House giving us some opening comments first thing tomorrow morning. So that's going to be at 9 a.m. And they're going to be talking a little bit about what this donation is going to be used for. 9:30, we have the 2024 case law update. I know years ago, Phil Epstein used to do this, the late great family lawyer from Epstein Cole. Used to do this at in-person summits and family law conferences throughout the country. I saw him at a Federation of Law Society conferences in British Columbia in 2010, doing a case law update. So that's how long this firm has been doing this case law update. But for me personally, it was always a highlight. It was always the presentation, the humor, the detail. They usually have a white paper that they share with us in their show notes. We'll pass that along to our audience. So this year it's Aaron Franks and Adam Pure. Adam presented last year, was one of our audience favorites. And if you haven't seen Aaron Franks present, he's great, simply great. So that's how we're starting off our morning. We've got the Master of Disaster, Brian Galbraith, our Master Collaborator. Him and his colleagues are going to talk about becoming a super communicator. So this is kind of interesting. I'm not too sure what they have planned. Alex Beatty and Christina Garisto from his firm are going to be joining us. But I think he's going to give us communication skills for communicating with collaborative professionals, communicating with your clients at the initial intake, communicating with team members, basically how to become a better communicator. That's a double session. So this is first for us. We've never done 2 1-hour sessions back to back. So they're going to run it about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes of content with a brief recess for people to go get a coffee or get some popcorn and come back for the second half. So that's going to get us through the morning. Afternoon, Joseph, what we got to look forward to for the first session after lunch?
Yeah, for sure. Sorry about the impromptu Louis appearance, but better than him crying at the door and then everyone thinks I'm harboring a child or something outside. So we are going to be discussing really, really exciting after the super communicator segment, a really good topic on impasse, some great speakers, Carrie Heinzel, who is the founder of Fairmore Family Law Financial Solutions. She's a co-teacher in both introductory and advanced programs for professionals, an active trainer in the collaborative process. And her job, her role is to offer independent financial analytics and settlement insights for both individuals and couples navigating separation and divorce. As well as joining Carrie is Jonathan Painter, And he is a registered social worker and psychotherapist who does specialize in family law. And he completes parenting plan assessments, voice of the child reports, does family mediation, collaborative family law. He does absolutely everything in his private practice. And I wouldn't suggest two better people to discuss and focus on impasse. In this segment, there are so many topics that are being covered. They define what is and what isn't impasse. They look at common family law issues that actually lead to impasse. They talk about different conflict styles and barriers to resolving impasse, how to prepare for impasse situations, strategies to overcome impasse, effective communication techniques. There's so many great topics that are going to be discussed in this session, and I would definitely tune in because there's some really, really great ideas and takeaways from it. There's also going to be what's called the art and magic of option generation. Again, both Carrie and Jonathan are going to be partaking in this segment. Really, really great segment, especially for those interested in collaborative law practice. Really, really great. Even those who are primarily focused on litigation, this is still a really great resource to come and listen into. Joining Carrie and Jonathan as well is Michelle Mulchin, and she is actually one of the senior managing lawyers at our firm, Russell Alexander. She has over 14 years of experience in family law. She's such a smart woman and is great to tag team on this event with Carrie and Jonathan. And in that session, some topics that are going to be covered are understanding the importance of generating options and dispute resolution, understanding what option generation actually entails, techniques for effective option generation, how the role of family professionals plays into this process of generating options, as well as challenges in generating options, strategies to overcome those challenges, and as well as they're also going to provide some case studies for some practical insights.
And Steph, you're the headliner, right, for day one?
I'm the closer.
Are you coming in on a tour bus with like rock guitars and what's going on?
I was considering merch, but I didn't go that far. So yeah, so myself, along with Golan Yaron, who's another associate at our firm, as well as Abby Adusi, another family law lawyer, we're going to be closing day one out with ethics and strategy. So that sort of portion is going to dive into crucial aspects of ethical considerations and strategic maneuvers essential for legal professionals who are dealing with divorce and separation matters. Throughout the session, we'll talk about, the intricate dynamics of ethical challenges. We'll offer practical insights and best practices to navigate these sensitive legal landscapes. And really engage in, and we're always going to welcome, questions from the audience and provide our feedback and our insight. So that's 4 p.m. on day one, and that's going to sort of conclude the first day of our summit.
Yeah. And we do have a prize for early bird. Everybody registered early. Daphne, that's coming at the end of day two. Is that right?
End of day one, I believe.
All right. So look at you got to register to win, but keep an eye out for that. We'll have more information about the early bird in the morning. Let's take a look at day two. We've got Adam Cordova doing our keynote presentation. I've met Adam several times throughout North America. He's executive with the IACP. He's talking about all the ways to collaborate, examining different models of collaborative practice. So that's a shorter session. We think Adam's going to go about 20-25 minutes. It won't be quite as interactive as the other ones. A lot of the other sessions, you're going to have PowerPoints, you're going to have poll questions, you get a chance to send your questions in. This will be more of a keynote speech. So that's going to be fantastic. And then Steph, you're going to talk about the next one at 9:30. What do we have?
Yeah, so after our keynote at 9:30 a.m. on day two, we have risk factors in family violence. So for this seminar, we'll have the lovely Michelle Mulchin back, as well as Jonathan Painter back, the family professional. Also joining them will be Amrit Malhotra. She's another family professional who is a registered social worker. So the three dynamic trio will be able to dive into, the intricate aspects of family violence. Our speakers will explore critical themes around domestic and family violence, covering key risk factors contributing to these issues, along with exploring, their impact on children and strategies to mitigate exposure risks. Michelle, with her legal insight, will be able to provide those identifying and, assessing risk factors within their practice and provide essential resources and support systems available.
And then we're going to move into family law financing. So Bridgeport, one of our sponsors, will be participating in that. That's going to look at a number of aspects of going through a divorce or separation. We're going to talk about the costs of each step. So, we all have different ranges, motions, trials, retainers, initial consultations. We're going to talk about some common challenges our clients are facing when it comes to funding litigation. Oftentimes, they stop using lawyers and become self-repped, which can have some negative consequences, and it's tough on the judicial system. So we're going to take a look at some of the challenges our clients are facing. We're going to talk about retainer agreements and evergreen retainer agreements, what that means. We're going to talk about common approaches. Oftentimes, clients turn to credit cards, line of credits, friends, family. How do you fund a litigation? It could be a $5,000 separation agreement, or it could be a $100,000 trial. We just don't know until we understand who the opposing party is, what process they're choosing, whether a trial is going to be required. So we're going to talk about all that. Then Bridgepoint Financial Services is going to talk about third-party options for financing litigation. There's actually a case recently in Ontario where costs were awarded for the interest on the litigation financing. So this is becoming much more commonplace than you expect. So if it opens up another avenue and gives people a chance to access the justice system with a legal representative or a lawyer helping them, certainly is something worth exploring. And then we're going to wrap up with some Q&A. So I think a lot of professionals who don't know or don't think about these other options are going to find this session very helpful. And I think, Daphne, you've got the session just before lunchtime. What are we talking about?
On day 2 at noon, we have embracing the 2S LGBTQI+ community in our family law practice. And this session is going to be hosted by Jane Huh. She is one of our family lawyers on our team, and also by Sarah Rutledge Fisher. I actually had the privilege of watching them do a dry run for this session. And I can tell you,
got a teaser? You got like the trailer?
I did. I got a trailer. It's going to be really interesting. This topic is ever evolving, and it's so important for family lawyers to know how to best serve families that are part of this community. So I highly recommend catching that session on day 2 at noon.
Then we got a lunch break and then straight into certified business evaluator reports. It sounds like a lot of meat on this one, eh, Steph?
Absolutely. Yeah. So on day 2 at 2, we have 2 lovely financial professionals joining us. So we have Jason Kwiatkowski and Melanie Russell. In this session, our audience members will discover the valuable role that certified business evaluators play in financial assessments, especially in matrimonial disputes. So they'll cover what the professional standards are guiding their assistants, as well as provide insight into the various reporting options available, the benefits and challenges working with CBVs through joint retainers. So this session is really ideal for professionals seeking a deeper understanding of business valuation, especially within, the complex, area of financial matters within family law. So highly recommend this one. So day 2 at 2.
And then day 2 at 3, we have a double header. So we have Jason and Melanie back up again. Joseph, what are they going to do for their second hour?
Yeah, so again, we have the privilege of listening to both Jason and Melanie, both esteemed experts in their fields. Just for some context, Jason is an independent financial neutral. He's completed numerous business valuations and expert reports, including various income assessments, which is actually the topic um, of this session, a deep dive into attribution of pre-tax corporate income. Sounds super scary. And it definitely is. That's why I'll be attending, so I can learn more about that. As well as Melanie, who also is a qualified expert in business valuation, damages quantification, income determination. So all the good stuff. And they're definitely the two people best suited to speak on this. Some topics covered will be how income is assessed for business owners, the time and cost considerations for such income assessments, the examination of Section 18 of the guidelines, and dealing with court considerations. So we're actually going to have a legislative look on how this impacts income as well as the impact of the company structure on the analysis, historical practices, spousal control over distribution of funds, all of the good stuff. And it'll definitely be a very insightful session. There's definitely a lot to learn from this. And I know that a lot of lawyers sometimes are sort of scared or overwhelmed by the financial aspects of a case. So this will be a really great opportunity to learn more.
Yeah. And just as Daphne headlined day one, we have Daphne headlining day two.
Yeah, so excited to be
Like
closing
the
out.
final act of a 2-day music festival. How are you going to top all this?
I know, no pressure. Well, luckily I'll be joined by you, Russ, and we also have Pamela Wickersham joining us. She's the head of product at Supio. So she has experience spearheading and
And
optimizing.
Supio happens to be one of our sponsors.
That's true. Yes. Thanks for
Yeah.
mentioning that. Yeah. So thank you to Supio as well for sponsoring the event. So she'll be able to share her experience in spearheading and optimizing technology. We also are going to be joined by Monica Goyle. She's the director of legal innovation for Caravel Law. So she has experience evaluating and actually implementing this technology. So between the four of us, and Russ brings his experience as the owner of a family law firm and is at the forefront of tech advances as well. So between the four of us, we'll bring our own perspectives and should have an interesting discussion. So like Russ said,
You got a couple surprises and a teaser. We got to wait.
oh, which one?
Yours.
My teaser.
Oh,
About,
you're going to keep it quiet. You don't want to say
I'm gonna
what.
keep it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, right. Okay.
You'll have to register and watch the session on
Let me ask my avatar. Maybe they'll have an answer. Right?
maybe he'll know.
Okay. So that's going to wrap up day two. Finalize the early bird. Shannon and I will have an announcement about our fundraising drive. We're going to have more information about show notes and a whole bunch of other details. But final topic, tips and tricks for getting the most out of this summit. What do we want to, let's give the audience a few takeaways. Steph, you want to go first?
Yeah, totally. One big one, especially for our legal professionals joining us, who want to take advantage of the CPD credits, please make sure to register beforehand. I understand we will have our summit across many different platforms, but to ensure you get those CPD credits, please be sure to register before the event starts. We recommend about an hour before the event starts. And I believe Daphne, well, we'll push the registration links out, I'm sure, especially tonight. Another thing that we love to feature in our virtual event series is polls. So throughout many of the sessions, you will see polls come up on your screen. We really encourage audience participation. It allows our presenters to tailor their content, on the fly directly to any questions that come in. And then we get a better understanding of who our audience members are as well, and sort of what your goals or interests for takeaways are. And the last thing I would say is to submit any questions you have early. There will be a Q&A feature, so you can submit questions during the presentation, but just to make sure that your question gets seen or heard, it's always best to submit those early in case there's sort of a wave of, a lot of questions all at once. We are, working within a time frame, so we want to make sure everyone gets their insight and enjoys the summit.
Great tips. And just as a presenter, I know if we're running a poll, we'll go to the audience questions to take a question as we're waiting for poll results. So if you have them in earlier, you're more likely to get called upon. And a lot of presenters will answer questions throughout the program. So if you wait to the end and we get slammed with 40 or 50 questions, we're not going to be able to get them through all at once. So get them in early. Great tip. Daphne, what do you got? What takeaways or tips are you recommending tonight?
Yeah, so at the end of each day, if you register, you will receive a follow-up email. That's going to include a survey. So we love getting audience feedback so that we can improve our shows as much as possible and give the audience what they want. So there will be a survey. We'll also be including speaker applications as well. And if you have any ideas for next year, we're always open to hearing those as well.
We have an audience question. How do you know if you're registered? I keep getting invites even though I thought I had registered.
So if you have registered, you should have received an email directly from Zoom with a link to join the webinar. And you will get that again. I believe it's 1 hour before the webinar actually begins. So if you've registered, you can go to the registration page again and try to re-register, but chances are you've already registered. So thanks for asking.
Joseph, who do they reach out to if there's a tech question?
Yeah, so we definitely want to make sure that no one's kept in the dark throughout the next 2 days, and we want to make sure everyone who has registered is able to access, the sessions that they're interested in. So if you're having any issues, please reach out to Nicole Raymond, and she can be reached via email at mec@russellalexander.com. So Nicole will be the best person to reach out to if you have any issues throughout the entire day with respects to not being able to access Zoom or maybe last minute registrations, or have any questions regarding that, any tech issues, reach out to Nicole at mec@russellalexander.com. And sorry, go ahead.
Any other tips?
Yeah, I was just going to say that one of the main takeaways that are so great to sitting in on the topics and on the presentations is the show notes that follow. So show notes will be sent the following day at the end of day to all registered participants, and it will have information relating to resources on how you can learn more or further your knowledge on that specific topic that was discussed, as well as direct links to topics and resources that were actually directly referenced or even mentioned in the session. So there really are a great tool. If you think you missed anything or you misheard something, it's a great way to go back and further your knowledge or learn more on that specific topic.
Yeah, and I think they're doing it again this year. I don't want to make any promises, but the case law update from Epstein Cole was fantastic. It's 40, 50 pages of annotated cases that they review in a very quick period of time. So to have those show notes to go back to, you may not get the citation or the case name as you're trying to, it's like a fire hose of information coming at you. So it's kind of good to have that resource. Great tips. Thank you, Joseph. If you're interested in becoming a speaker, there'll be a link tomorrow where you can make an application, or if you have a subject matter you'd like to have us cover off, please send that in. Certainly support our charity. We're super excited to be collaborating with the Denise House. There will be GoFundMe links throughout the program where you can simply click on, add your credit card, and give them your name for the tax receipt information. So we're bringing this pre-show to a close. I can't believe how quickly this goes by. Top three, a couple things. Top three picks of what you're looking forward to. And I'm not going to pick on anybody. Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Okay.
Well, I'm always excited for the case law update. I think it's, like you said, Russ, such a entertaining way to absorb a lot of knowledge. And having those show notes will be a tremendous help for those, so many rapid fire cases and names to make sure you kind of have everything in order. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm also really looking forward to presenting this year. I know in previous years I was hosting and sort of took a more broad, um, you know, position or within the summit. So I'm excited to be one of the presenters this year.
You're moving
Um,
on up.
I know how times have changed. Um, but those are sort of my two that I'm really, really looking forward to.
Okay, next volunteer.
Daphne, would you like to go?
Well played.
Right? And it's not my first rodeo.
No, I
Like
can
you said,
tell.
I'm an OG. I'm an OG, right?
That's right. Well, I'm looking forward to both days in general, but if I had to choose a couple sessions, the Denise House is gonna kick off the event tomorrow morning. So I'm looking forward to hearing from Sandra McCormack and learning more about the organization that we're supporting this year. And I'm gonna kind of align with Steph here and say I'm looking forward to presenting myself as well, for the first time at the summit. So I'm right there with you, Steph, and I'm looking forward to presenting on AI as well.
They flew you down to Texas to present on AI. This isn't
They
your first
did.
rodeo either.
No, that's true. Yeah, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. That is going to be a fun one. Any kind of new technology is always interesting to see what direction it's pushing the legal profession in. Just think 4 or 5 years ago, we're all in court every day, right?
Yeah.
And we're doing conferences using this technology. What a difference. Joseph?
Yeah, I'm really excited for the case law update. I was an articling student, and I actually attended my first trial last year, or no, this year. I'm sorry, excuse me, back in the spring. So I have a feeling the case I was involved in might make or might crack the case law update. So I'm excited to see that. And then on Thursday, I'm really eager to attend the business valuation reports session as well as the pre-tax corporate income session. I'm actually getting a medical procedure done that afternoon, so I don't know if they're going to put me under or not. So I hope they don't. So I can maybe, as they're doing it, I could have my phone on Zoom and I could be watching because I really don't want to miss that. So I'm going to tell the doc not to put me out.
If it's a
That's
bad session,
dedication.
Right?
what's that?
Dedication to learning.
If it's a bad session, it might put you out. Just
Yeah, if the meds don't do it, maybe the
but
session.
there are no bad sessions here. They're all great.
No, but I really think a lot of people can take great value in the financial component of these sessions. Like I know they're daunting, especially to me sometimes the financial components are daunting, but with such great speakers, I'm really eager to learn from them.
Yeah, I've got to echo, your picks. Like I'm excited for Denise House because I want to learn more about the impact this financial contribution is going to have on people, vulnerable people in our community. So I find that very rewarding to see the legal profession step up and contribute so directly to such a worthy cause. 2024 case law update. Always get great reviews from audience members on how much they enjoy that and how informative they find it. And I have to give a shout out to another OG who's not with us, Brian Gilbert. If you haven't seen Brian present, he's a master. And the fact that we got him for 2 back-to-back sessions on Super Communicator, I think this could be some really interesting and exciting stuff. So those are my picks. Let's bring this train into the station. Rapid fire final thoughts. Daphne, you want to go first?
Sure, yeah, I just want to remind everyone too, you have to register for each day. So make sure you register for day 1 and register for day 2 so that you don't miss anything that we just covered in the teaser. But other than that, I'm super excited and looking forward to starting tomorrow.
And we've got a good turnout for both days. We're over 700, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Joseph?
Yeah, I would just say don't be intimidated by the topics. Really just keep an open mind, and if you don't think maybe something resonates with you or your practice, I still think that you should go ahead and take a listen. You might find something that you can attribute to your practice.
Yeah, I agree. Steph?
Yeah, and I would also just add, engage as much as possible. You know, there's an anonymous feature. If you feel silly asking a question, there's no silly questions. We really love having audience engagement, and our speakers and our presenters really can riff off of that. So definitely don't be shy and submit your questions and answer those polls.
Yeah, I agree, Steph. You know, the more you put in, the more you're going to get out. So if you're participating in the polls, speakers can tailor their content if they need to. Sending the questions in help us understand if, you know, if we're explaining it properly, or maybe we should go through some concepts again. You know, we tend to speak our own language sometimes when we talk about legal jargon. So it's great to get that feedback. So thank you for joining us for an after hours. I appreciate everybody's hard work and insight, and we're looking forward to seeing everyone tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., right, Daphne?
That's right. Absolutely.
Okay, guys, have a great night. We'll see you in the morning.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.